As we're starting here on the Social Justice Forums, we're going to introduce you to a very special organization. It's an international not-for-profit organization that runs youth service after-school programs in United States high schools, and then it also builds schools in developing countries. Their mission, really simple. It's to break the cycle of poverty, illiteracy, and also low expectations through service and education. They're also serving communities where youth who face issues ranging from gang violence all the way to food insecurity and homelessness. I'm pleased to be joined in sharing in their point of view on the matter with the Chief Program Officer of buildOn Us, Ms. Kayla Hunter. And Kayla, good to have you.
Thank you for having me, Daren. I'm really excited for this conversation.
Thank you. And so glad to actually have this conversation and be talking. When we talk about the issue of social justice, obviously for you, your organization is front and center in dealing with a multiplicity of the issues that actually are attached to social justice. But for somebody who doesn't know about buildOn Us, what that's all about, just tell us a little bit.
Absolutely. So for our US-based programs, we are really focused on empowering young people in our public schools to serve their communities locally and become agents of positive change in their communities, and also to help them in developing a global citizenship identity. And so before we had to make some shifts given the global pandemic, we were able to send our students to some of our programs in places like Haiti and Malawi and Senegal and Nicaragua after they had done a couple of service hours, or quite a few service hours with us, so that they could help build schools and learn more about the issues in that community. So we do a combination of working with our teachers and our educators to engage our students in conversation about the issues that are affecting their community, and then also empowering our students to find opportunities to be a part of the positive change and engage and participate in service in their schools and in their local communities.
Yeah, and when you talk about engaging them in community service, obviously that's major. To learn about service, particularly when we're a community that faces a lot of challenge. And so giving back, and talk to us about that, how you cultivate that spirit of giving back and service, and really helping students understand how to pay it forward.
Yeah, it's a great question. So it's an ongoing part of what we do, right? We never stop doing that. We're continually reminding our students about the importance of solidarity, being in solidarity with each other as students, as part of their school community, and what impact they're able to make there, and also being in solidarity with the rest of their community, and how we can support each other and uplift each other to build the type of community that we want to see, and have an impact on building and creating the future that they want to have. So we're challenging students to think about both some of these complex issues like food insecurity, and how that shows up in different aspects of their lived experience in their communities, their community members, and having those conversations to break down these big ideas, to find smaller opportunities where we can impact small change. For instance, a lot of our students on a weekly basis will go to a food kitchen, or a soup kitchen, excuse me, and serve. We've also given out food to the homeless. And so where can we identify ways in which we can participate in being a part of positive change when it comes to some of these big issues? We break that down, and then we support our students in getting out there and serving.
And so when you talk about issues, right, we know that the United States, and of course across the world, there are multiplicity of issues. You do a great job of really allowing students to understand what the issues are. And when we talk about what the issues are, sometimes there is this being naive and ignorance, if you will. A little bit more about the issue education, because I know that's important, that before they get out to serve, they got to know what the issues are.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's where we spend a lot of our time, and a lot of it is done in collaboration with our teachers. So, for example, around with our science teachers, often one of our annual projects we refer back to is tackling the big topic of environmental justice and having our students guide that conversation. So, making sure that our students lead the conversation and we're elevating their voices and they're driving what types of service projects they want to do is really important and is deeply ingrained into how we work. And so we will go into classrooms and build on what they're already learning in their science classes, and challenge them to start thinking about where they can impact change. So often our students will go into community gardens and parks and do service related to that. But the education part is so important, because that's where our students learn the impact of what they're doing and are able to situate when we're going out into our community to serve, the how that is contributing to the larger picture. And we find that those conversations are also really important for them understanding how they can be agents of change, because they're not just showing up and putting food on someone's table, but they are participating in their community, and really inputting themselves into a larger system, and having an influence on that, which is so powerful. And so that education piece is where we spend quite a lot of our time with our students.
Yeah, and you use the word students. For somebody who wants to know where you get your students from, how do you go about getting your students?
Yeah, so we are partnered with schools, but we do also allow students, or are open to students from outside of those schools to participate in our programming. And it's been a great opportunity. Actually, going digital has made our programming even more accessible to students outside of the schools that we work in. So students can get involved by following us on social media, specifically Facebook and Instagram at buildOn, or by emailing us at info@buildon.org. And we have after school opportunities and Saturday opportunities for students to come and learn and participate in service.
Yeah, and I want to talk a little bit about the borough of the Bronx, because I know you guys do some great work here in the borough of the Bronx, particularly hooking senior students up, I should say, with seniors. And I know that some of the work that you guys do has a student-senior connection. So introduce us to that student-senior connection.
Yes, that was absolutely one of the first things that our students were interested in continuing to do once the global pandemic required us to shift to digital. And so a lot of our students, again, we're encouraging them to get out and do service on a weekly basis after school. And so a couple of the things we've done specifically with students in the Bronx has been calling isolated seniors who may or may not have regular interactions as we did certainly not with our students, but maybe not with other people as well, since things have significantly changed given the global pandemic. Our Bronx students also reached out to some younger students, and transitioning 8th grade students to 9th grade, gave calls to those students to kind of talk to them about what high school is going to be like and prepare them and support them in all of the transitions in schools our students are facing right now with the switch to digital learning. Another thing that our Bronx students did was participate in our Make Masks, Save Lives campaign, which we were able to make over 75,000 masks and engage students in leading their community and talking about the value and the importance of wearing masks, and also guide them through how to use the mask making kits that we sent out so they can create masks for their families and get out there and be safe.
Wow. And when we talk about students, obviously a lot of them have been affected throughout the course of this COVID-19 pandemic. For you as an organization, trying to work with your students, getting them to virtually pivot and to pivot virtually. We know that students are pretty much technologically savvy, but talk to us. How much of a challenge was it to actually pivot virtually for both your organization and then also for your students?
It definitely has been a challenge. we interestingly have learned that some of our students are joining us now for the first time. Some students in the schools that we work at have joined us for the first time since we've gone virtual. So there's a new accessibility to our programming that we're really excited about. But we also have found, in partnership with our schools, that attendance, given distance learning, is a challenge that we are still trying to prepare to be able to account for better this fall. So we have new opportunities for students to engage with us digitally, but meeting our students where they are and continues to be a challenge. We have found, though, that some of our students are continuing to serve and are displaying that on social media, even when they're not coming directly to our programming, which feels like a testament to how we've been able to encourage them to find whatever opportunities they can and they have accessible to them to serve their community. So one student in the Bronx specifically that's coming to mind is a Johnny, a student who, along with their mother, packaged and delivered food, socially distant, of course, to their neighbors. And this is a student who has consistently participated in our programming in schools and to some extent while we've been digital as well, but is also getting out there outside of buildOn and continuing to serve, which is really exciting.
Yeah. So what do you have coming up in the future?
Sure. So this fall, we are continuing to offer our programs digitally. We are going to be launching a Leaders in Training program this fall, which we're really excited about. It's something that our Bronx students actually led the charge on in the past. And so we are formalizing it and making sure that we're offering it to all of our students across the nation. So that is an opportunity for our students to learn how to essentially do what our school-based staff do. They're going to learn how to coordinate with the community, create opportunities for service, and then lead that service in their community for their peers. So that Leaders in Training program is launching. And then, of course, we're continuing to do education and whether it's digital or it's socially distant, to engage in service projects that support different areas of need in the community. And one of the areas that we are going to continue to focus on, of course, is the COVID-19 relief.
And do you feel as though the students have a more connectivity, if you will, to the area of social justice, given the fact that they've taken a lot of time in these service projects, spent some time learning the issues? Are they more conscious, or the word that we use, are they more woke?
I would say that. I do think that for sure. And we, given all of the things that happened in our country in the last 5 months, there's so many topics that we can address with our students, but they have spoken up and shared with us what it is that they feel passionate about. And it's community-based, right? And so it's different in each of the communities that we serve, but social justice has become something that they want to gain more knowledge about, more language to understand a lot of these big issues. And so that is definitely going to continue to be a focal point of what we do and how we educate moving forward.
And so as we continue to move forward in this segment, about to bring it to a close, I wanted to give you an opportunity to share with some of our viewers about how students can get connected. You did say you take students from the outside sometimes. So how can those outside students come on and be a part?
Yes, social media and also email and our website. So for students in the Bronx, our website is buildon.org/Bronx. And as I said, Instagram and Facebook are the best places to reach us, at buildOn as well.
All right, I want to make sure people get connected there. And so much great work that you guys are doing, Kayla. Students are taking part, but talk to us about the testimonies, because after they've taken part in your program, what are you hearing people say, and what are you hearing the feedback that's coming from having service involvement, having community involvement, and being connected in such an impactful way?
Yeah, oh, that's such an exciting question. We have students that are coming out of our high school-based programs and going into college and continuing to focus on civic engagement, getting involved in many ways. We also have students and alumni that we keep in touch with who are in the workforce now and have become educators, have become community advocates, and are at the front lines in the healthcare field. And so I shared the example of Johnny, who's one of our alum as well, who's been working with his mom to prepare meals for their neighborhood and their neighbors in their community, which is just great to see. But we've had students in a number of ways come back and tell us that they learned so much from buildOn, that the buildOn continues to be like a second family to them, and a community that they can reach back out to and ask for support. And during these uncertain times, it's more important than ever.
Yeah. Well, Kayla, thank you so much for being with us and sharing a little bit about buildOn. Guys are continuing to impact young people in such a special way. And when it comes to social justice, of course, putting them in touch and, educating them on the issues is so powerful and so prevalent. It needed to be prevalent in this day and age. So thank you so much, Kayla, for your great work.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All righty. Well, listen, I want you to stay with us because we do have more on the Social Justice Show coming up. Stay with us. We're coming right back right after this.